Sunshine.Robbie here. I was having a conversation with another person, and through the conversation, this analogy just came through, and I think it's a great analogy to share to help us understand where we are in how we relate to others, where we are putting ourselves in relation to others. How much are we giving to others out of our own sacrifice? And when that becomes a burden, when that becomes the weight on your shoulders, and you don't know how to make that change because of guilt, because of feeling bad that you need to say no, because you don't know how to prioritize yourself, you don't even know how and why you have always done everything for everybody else and not yourself. And by doing things for yourself is not selfish, but you might feel selfish, you know? Maybe prioritizing yourself doesn't mean that you don't care about others, but you do. But by sacrificing yourself, you're neglecting yourself. And this is how we end up with lots of, emotional suppression, turmoil, inner turmoil, physical ailments, conditions, diagnosis. And when that is a threat for us to actually continue to be a care for others, that bothers us, right? But it's not a threat to our health. It's a threat to the function of us helping others, but it's not a threat to ourselves. So it's really allowing yourself to look into the situation and see how much of it is actually yours, for you to feel that you really need to be there for others, the savior, the assistance, the help. How much of it really is yours and how much is theirs? Because by doing things, by helping, by assisting, by saving others, by being there for them, we're neglecting ourselves, but we're also taking away the opportunity for them to grow, because they have to go through their own issues sometimes to learn their lessons. And we go through our own issues. We go through the issues of others with others. But the more we do for others, the less we even going to be able to go through our own issues, because we're so busy neglecting our own issues that we're more busy with the issues of others. And just by saying no can be very hard, right? Setting boundaries, setting healthy boundaries needs to come at a good time. It's a timing. It's from a space of self-care, self-love. When boundaries comes from a feeling of frustration or burden, there's a backlash. So, but also healthy boundaries, setting a healthy boundary needs to be a consistent practice until it becomes more natural. Because by the time when you set a healthy boundaries, you create a different outcome for that situation, for you and for the other person. Both of you will have different perspectives, different than the normal perspective of you being the savior, sacrificing yourself, and them always getting the help and not going through their own lessons. But when we set the boundary, we understand how much are we coming away from ourselves to assist others, how much we're sacrificing, how much is that affecting us. And they understand eventually that there are lessons for them to learn as well. There's growth. And we can't take that away from them. Yeah, we can't. And when you start setting healthy boundaries, it allows you then to, as you practice, to become more at ease with it. And then all the boundaries can come along as well. And then it becomes easier. The self-guilt goes away, disappears, because then it helps you understand why it's so important to have that boundary for yourself. And in a conversation with someone, the analogy was, those cafeteria places that have the trolley with all the trays stacked up, and you keep prioritizing the trays, your child, your partner, your friend, a colleague, a family member, and you keep prioritizing the trays, who goes first, and then it changes all the time. But really, the way, if you continue to self-sacrifice, that represents that you are the trolley holding all those trays. It represents that you don't even have a tray for yourself in that trolley to be able to move up in the priority list. Yeah? So you don't want to be the trolley. You want to have a tray in that trolley. You need to allow God, Source, the highest power, to be the trolley. And you can work with the highest power to the movement of those trays, but you need to have your own tray. So a little simple exercise that will elicit your subconscious to bring you information of how and why you fell into this pattern of self-sacrifice and how you can get out of it, because you're not going to find this how to get out of it by working around others. It has to work within you. And perhaps you could do a visualization of this trolley and see if you can put an extra tray for yourself. Can you materialize that tray in that trolley for yourself? And you might not be able to do that in the first visualization, but if you do a little bit every day, eventually you'll be able to put a tray in the trolley. The tray will materialize, become stronger. You might have different colors, shape, patterns to it, and then eventually things are happening on your day-to-day life where it makes you realize, wait a minute, I realize I'm self-sacrificing. I have a choice. My choice is, do I do the same thing again, or do I try to do something slightly different to see how it feels, how it's accepted, how it unravels, how it unfolds? And you might do that choice slightly different, and then you have a slightly different outcome. You get a different perspective, and then you go back to visualization. Your tray now is gone to the next level. Yeah. And then you get used to this practice, and then eventually you find that perhaps you love having a bath, or you never have a bath, and you think, I have a bath in my home and I never use the bath, and you think, I'm going to have a bath today, and you have a bath, and then you visualize your tray, and your tray's gone up again. Yeah. So little things like that in your day-to-day life, and you visualizing that trolley, put your tray in there, go up the scale, go up the levels, and see if you can get yourself at the top. And I'm not saying that you're supposed to keep yourself at the top at all times. We will be shifting between different people in our lives that we prioritize at times. But what we don't want to do is eliminate our tray and become the trolley, right? Because when you become the trolley, you carry the world on your shoulders. And you want to be able to be a tray, an interchangeable tray, one that you can prioritize, you can bring down a little bit, put other people above, and then bring it down, and feel good with that switch back and forth, because life is changeable. Everything changes all the time. It can't be always the same. So I highly encourage you, if you want to do the trolley analogy, visualization in your spare moment, in your moment of silence, in your moment of stillness, in your moment of peace, in your moment of meditation, in your moment of prayer. And if you don't have that moment, perhaps that is the first point, the first step you need is to have those 10 minutes of silence. Perhaps when you go to the corner shop to get milk, Just stay in the car and close your eyes for 10 minutes, right? No one's going to notice that you've gone 10 minutes longer than normal. Have that moment once a day. Once a day. When I said 10 minutes, the video said 10 minutes. And I didn't even realize. Just once a day, and you see how much you're going to grow from that. Okay? Because the trolley is the highest power. The highest power knows your name. The highest power wants to look after you, right? And even those other trays in that trolley wants to look after you, but we don't let them. Yeah? You know, for those that have grown-up children with grandchildren, we're looking after them all the time. They want to look after you, but they will respect your boundary of, don't come look after me because I'm looking after you. They will respect. It's not because they don't care, but they respect. But the moment you open that boundary, they'll come through and they will love you, and they will show the love. They always love you, but they'll show the love, and they will be helping you, be assisting you, be supporting you. And even for those that have been the trolley all their lives, you struggle to receive. And again, another little step to think about. How are you going to receive? How can you receive? How does it feel to receive? Yeah? Honor your tray in the trolley of the highest power. Okay? We are love and light. And thank you for being here.